It's Saturday night,
The kids are in bed.
which means we did it. We survived another week.
So let's talk about it.
From our latest homebrew project,
To kids' crafting projects.
it's just talking life with two young kids and two dogs. Grab your favorite beverage, sit back,
Relax.
and see where the conversation takes us.
Sometimes we don't even know until we get there. This is the Craft Parenting Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of the Craft Parenting Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Another week has flown by and it is once again Saturday night and time to record another episode. My name is Joe Ludwig and with me is my lovely wife and co-host Caroline. How's it going, Caroline?
Pretty good. I mean, a 10.5-hour drive that turns into 12 plus. I'm home. I'm in my bed. Well, I'm not currently in my bed, but I will soon be in my bed and just go. How much of an illusion are we putting over the time of when we record this?
Apparently a lot of an illusion.
We've been home for a few days now.
Yeah, and I'm already starting to have post-vacation syndrome.
Why did we leave? I mean, other than the motorcycle gangs that were descending upon the city.
I don't know why we left. It was awesome.
We should just buy that house and live there forever.
Yes, we will use Lily's college fund. Lily, if you're listening to this in the future and you're wondering where your college fund is,
Mommy and Daddy spent it to buy their dream house on the beach. Education is stupid, says the people with college degrees that use them on a regular basis.
just kidding. We don't have a college fund for you. We're giving it all to your brother. Well, that went off the rails.
And it's early.
I am having post-vacation syndrome with work. I went back to work this week. And people are taking advantage of that. You went back to work as well, but we're going to save that for a whole different podcast.
Yeah, I went back to work after 12 weeks off. It's very different than 1 week.
2 weeks.
Sorry, 2 weeks.
1 week I can handle. That's what I usually do. But 2 weeks, they just pile on the emails.
I'm down to less than 100 unread emails in my inbox. I started off with over 400, but most of them are junk. So I'm just filtering through the junk in between doing other things. But we went on vacation.
No more depressive talk about work and stuff like that.
Instead, let's talk about the beach.
Yes.
The soft crash of waves on the shore. The screaming of an almost 3-month-old when you're less than 2 hours away from your house. Ah, so soothing, so majestic.
I don't know what that was. We have another great show planned out for you this week. Things are going to be slightly different because we were on vacation. So instead of telling you about our week and then covering a topic, we're just going to go through our week and tell you what we learned.
So you don't have to learn the hard way.
About traveling with two kids under 2. So let's get started. So, Caroline, I see you have an adult beverage. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Taft's Hazelnut Latte, which is a hazelnut coffee milk stout that's 6% ABV and 20 IBUs. Their description is, a work of art brewed with our friends at Deeper Roots Coffee, smooth and silky, layered in ripples of coziness. It's pretty tasty. I like it. Would drink again. I might have more buried in the back of the fridge. I just saw my stash of beer in the fridge and realized I need to drink more beer. I've been very basic lately and drinking a lot of Truly, which is delicious.
Yeah, who are you?
I'm your wife. I'm just going through an identity crisis. I don't know.
You don't even like bubbly water.
I do not like bubbly water, but I like alcoholic seltzer water. It has more flavor than your bubbly water. Your bubbly water has like a hint of orange. Like it sat next to an orange on a shelf and that's how it got its flavor.
You're exaggerating. Why do you need your water to have flavor?
Why do you need your water to have bubbles?
Because I was addicted to pop, and that
turned into bubbly water.
That helped me with my craving.
Well, that works for you. I like my hard seltzer. It's yummy. I also like my apple cider. So buy me apple cider instead and I'll drink that. But I also have a ton of beer in the fridge. So I'm starting to hopefully maybe dive more into my stash of beer in the fridge.
Well, that was a beer that I impulse bought, or you impulse bought during the pandemic.
Probably me. I impulse bought a lot of things during the pandemic.
Like during the heart of the pandemic. I realize we are still in a pandemic.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
Well, I am drinking a Mad Tree local blend, though it's not local, so I don't know why they call it that.
It's local to the city. They had 4 cities. They did Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, and Cleveland.
So this is a C-Bus coffee porter, to give some context to what you just said. And it came in a 4-pack.
Correct. With other beers that were made with coffee blends from Cincinnati, Dayton, and Cleveland. Cincinnati, I'm pretty sure, was Coffee Emporium. Or it was Deeper Roots, because like everybody does Deeper Roots these days.
I don't remember.
And then we had Dayton and Cleveland.
Yeah, it's really good. Apparently, we just need more coffee in our lives because we are both drinking coffee beers.
I mean, I could use some coffee this week.
So more coffee. This has 6% ABV and 18 IBU. And like you said, this is one of the 4 cans in the local blend series, featuring coffee roasted by Staff's Coffee Roasters in Columbus, Ohio, exclusively for this porter with lactose.
We got this beer from the beer and pizza truck.
Adult ice cream truck.
I miss the beer and pizza truck.
That was a good idea.
It was a good idea. So it started off as like them just saying, we're going to go to this neighborhood, come and stop us. And then they got like lines of like 40 people deep. And they're like, oh no, this bad. This not working out. This is not social distancing. We are going to be the cause of a super spreader. So then they said, we're going to hit up these 5 zip codes in the next 6 days. So they would like say, like after today, we're going to go to these 5 zip codes in 5 days.
And this was during the height of the pandemic as well, so we're talking
this was
April,
like April,
May, June.
Well, May is when they came to us. So they finally said they were coming to our zip code. And we were like, woohoo, yay. So you could order a make-it-yourself pizza, either pepperoni or cheese. But you had to order beer, and your order had to be like a minimum of $30 or something like that. So I ordered a pizza, and then I just kept throwing beer into my cart until I met the minimum. So I got some Shade, I got you something, and I got these 4-packs, and they're very yummy. And I miss the beer and pizza truck. But you're also drinking it out of the glass that I got during my Mad Tree Brewery tour with my beer tasting class in college, which was at Mad Tree 1.0, because now they have Mad Tree 2.0 because they remodeled. Well, they didn't remodel, they moved.
They remodeled an entire airplane hangar.
Yeah, they moved into an airplane hangar. And like their original brew system fits underneath one of their current brew systems. Like it's ridiculous because these guys used to start home brewing they started home brewing in their garage. So yeah, the good old days where I could get tipsy on campus for college credit.
And we won't say how long ago that class was.
No, let's not do that.
Cheers to the weekend, and Lord help us in the week ahead, because starting tomorrow, we are going to have to do it all over again. More crazy adventures are ahead, and we will make sure to share them with you each week right here on the Craft Parenting Podcast.
We just got back from the beach.
Yeah, we did. We had a great time at the beach. The kids enjoyed it.
They had no idea what was going on.
Not at first, no. They were kind of annoyed with us, I think.
Yeah, Lily's like, why am I in the car? Why do I not get to run around?
But to be more specific, we are not talking about the beach along the Ohio River.
Oh, wow. We went fancy, didn't we?
We got really fancy. So we went to Surfside Beach, which is slightly south of Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. And we decided to drive down with our 2 kids under 2.
Driving or flying, I feel like would have been equally terrible options. So we chose the one where we had more control, and we drove.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of flying. As a kid, I never flew. The first time I flew was 2006, and it was the summer between my sophomore and junior year of high school.
I flew all the time as a kid. But when you fly, you can't bring like half your crap with you. So you would have had to like rent cribs, rent a high chair, buy diapers and all this other stuff as soon as we got off the plane because we couldn't just load up the van with all of our crud and drive down with basically a house minus a kitchen sink. Because I did not pack a kitchen sink. I did pack a bathtub for Elliot, did not pack a kitchen sink.
You showed so much restraint.
Hey, I wanted to pack like 50 more things in the van, but I didn't because
I think
they wouldn't
I told
fit.
you no. Because I was the one that had to sit back there. But we did not have a car topper either.
No, we'll have to get that eventually.
Yeah, I mean, we're only going to get more stuff. It's only going to get worse.
Yep.
So do you want to talk about the seating arrangements and how we packed the car?
We have a 2019 Honda Odyssey, and I love it. It's fantastic. I am a minivan mom. No shame. They are not a sponsor yet. It seats 8 people, but we took out the middle seat in between the 2 captain's chairs. And we decided to have the children sit in the 2 captain's chairs. And one adult would sit in the driver's seat while the other adult would sit in the back seat, like the back seat, also on the driver's side. So they would have basically a seat and a half because the seats in the back split 2 and 1. So you put down 1 seat and you have 2 seats up, but the middle seat's kind of small, especially when you're a full-size adult.
You're 6'2".
Well, yeah, when you're 6'2". So you got like a seat and a little bit more for you and your personal things to have while we were driving. And then we filled up the space as much as we could safely between Lily's car seat and the driver's seat. So like that's where the beach umbrellas went and the beach chairs, stuff that was flat that we couldn't really put anywhere else because you can't get out on Lily's side. You have to get out on Elliot's side. So in order to enter and exit the vehicle, Elliot is not allowed to be in the car.
Poor guy.
So you have to take Elliot out, get yourself into the van, and then the driver of the van has to put Elliot back to then get in the front seat to drive the van, which it worked. I mean, it was hard to finagle because all the kids' bags of crap for the road were in the middle of the captain's chairs, so you'd have to move those so you could get in and out. But you fit.
Yeah, there was a lot more space than anyone would think. I remember doing road trips as a kid, and the one with my sister, when she was 1 year old, we went to Myrtle Beach. So kind of a similar situation. In that car, there was the driver's seat and the passenger seat. And then in the middle, there were 2 connected seats. So kind of like they weren't captain chairs.
Yeah, that was back in the day where you only had a door on one side sometimes.
Yep. We only had 1 door.
And you had 3 seats in the back and 2 in the middle, but the 2 in the middle were like driver's side and then middle of the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ye olden times.
And as a kid, my parents, in their bedroom, they had a little TV. It was a box TV because back then there were no flat screens.
Yeah, it was the same TV that my grandma had over her fridge so she could watch soaps while she cooked.
Yeah, it was probably like 15 inches or something.
Yeah, those tiny little cube TVs.
Yeah, but it was a box. It wasn't, thin like we see the TVs today. They took that TV because we didn't have TVs in the car. We didn't even have a portable DVD player.
DVDs didn't even exist, or like they were very infant stages.
Yeah, I got my first DVD player high school, I think.
4th grade, so it would have been like 5th grade for you.
I don't know.
Was when we got our first DVD player, but it was attached to our computer. So it was a DVD reader on our computer. And if we wanted to watch a DVD on the big screen, we would have to take our tower computer downstairs and hook it up to the TV.
Really?
Really. Otherwise, you'd watch it on the monitor in the computer room.
I know the first DVD that I purchased was Shrek, so I don't remember. It must have been like 2003 or something.
Ours were The Patriot and Gladiator, and I was allowed to watch Gladiator, but not The Patriot.
That's weird.
I don't remember. I don't know what the ratings of these movies were. I just remember I could watch one but not the other, and I'm pretty sure I watched the Greek one, Roman one, because it was the Gladiator. I don't think I watched the... Anyways,
the historical one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would put that TV in between. I don't think there was a console, but there was room between the driver's side and the passenger side, and they would power it via the cigarette lighter. So they purchased an adapter, and that's how they powered it. And I tell this story a lot because I had a 1-year-old sister, and my mom decided that, hey, we have this Barney tape. She's never seen Barney before.
We'll throw it in with all these other tapes.
Yeah, we'll
Just play it, see what happens.
We'll see what happens. And she ended up loving it. And we only had one Barney tape. So in order to get her to stay happy, we played it nonstop.
Well, and like the thing about that too is in order for your sister to watch it with the placement of that monitor or screen, she had to be forward facing. And now they're like, keep your child rear facing until they're 2.
She was definitely forward facing.
But so much has changed since then.
Yeah, and she was a big kid too. So we're having that issue with Lily where she's
rear facing, but I don't know how much longer I can make her squeeze into that.
Right. So she's probably big enough to be forward facing, but the doctor said keep her rear facing as long as possible, as long as she's comfortable.
Yeah, we're going to attempt to max out the car seat in the van as far as how long it can be rear facing, but we'll also have to see how long we can get Lily in and out of it rear facing as well.
We ended up leaving Saturday, May 1st, and we got back Saturday, May 8th, and we, thank God, we just missed this gas shortage, this crisis that's going on, because we had to drive through Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina to get there and back. And if the vacation was a week later or this week, I don't know what we would have done because the shortages are impacting each of these states right now.
So I have a coworker who's down there right now.
Oh boy.
On the beach. I don't know. I haven't heard from her as far as what her plan is for getting back. I also don't think that she doesn't care if she's delayed getting back.
That's different though. Does she have kids?
She does not have kids. So she makes her own schedule.
She's also probably going to get kicked out though, right?
Potentially. I don't know where they're staying.
Yeah.
But I have another friend that's just Facebook friend, and she went down to visit her sister and said she had to go to 10 different gas stations before she found gas. And I was like, oh, hey, that's fun. But you also see the pictures of people filling up like 20 gas cans. Now, some of those people could have landscaping businesses, which is a legitimate reason for them to fill up 20 different gas cans. Some of those people are just crazy hoarders and do not understand how supply and demand work, and that gas does not have an infinite shelf life. So you want to use it sooner rather than later because it will start to degrade in quality and eventually will be not quite useless, but your gas mileage is going to get super sucky. And then people filling up very questionable containers. Okay, yes, you're filling up a big Rubbermaid container full of gas. How are you going to get the gas out of the Rubbermaid container to put it in your car?
No, that's not the questionable one. That's the questionable one is the picture of someone filling up a plastic garbage bag. Don't do that.
Those have been around for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the picture of the trunk that's full of clear garbage bags full of gas, if that's a recent thing or if that's an old thing.
I don't know. It's Twitter. It's the internet.
None of these photos are ever dated.
Nope.
So you don't know. Could be fake.
But the gas shortage is real, and there are gas lines, and the pipe is on, thank God. But like we said, if this happened this week, if we were down there this week with 2 kids, we would have gotten kicked out of the property on Saturday.
Yeah, because the owners were staying there the next day, and they need a place to stay.
And both of us had to get to work on Monday.
Yeah.
Actually, everyone in the family did.
Yeah. So it would have been very interesting. We're glad we made it home safe and sound. Well, safe and mostly sound. I think I lost my insanity somewhere along I-75. I just don't quite know where.
Okay, so we're going to go and break down our trip.
Well, we didn't finish talking about the van.
The van? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's finish talking about the van.
So we crammed as much stuff between Lily and the driver's side as we could. And we put the cooler where the seat that we folded down lives, so you could get to the cooler, and we put all the snacks on top of that. And just shoved as much crap as we could in the back of the van. But we also shoved as much crap as we could in the passenger seat of the van. Because since one of us was sitting in the very back to be able to take care of the kids, we didn't need space for a passenger. So shotgun was Lily's high chair and Elliot's bath and a diaper pail and some other things. Because when you're taking 2 kids under 2 anywhere for more than 3 days, I highly recommend packing a diaper pail. Yes, it takes up a little bit of room, but you don't have to smell dirty diapers or take constant trips to the garbage can outside to not have to smell dirty diapers.
Assuming you're not flying too.
Assuming you're not flying as well. Yeah. Everything that we packed was based on the fact that we were driving. And this house, unlike other places that we've stayed, both houses or condos, didn't have a what I'll call public access, but it wasn't really public access. Like, didn't have a private access, like for only people that staying in that space, beach closet, where the owners or other people who have stayed there have left stuff behind for everybody else to use. So like when we stayed in Siesta Key or other times when we stayed in Myrtle Beach, there was usually a closet that had some beach chairs, some of which might be partially broken but would still work, or all of them would work. Maybe some beach toys, community things that you could use and not have to worry about bringing stuff down. This house did not have that. So if we wanted beach chairs, we had to bring them or buy them there or rent them, which can get super expensive when you're dealing with 9 people, even though 2 of them are very small. So we brought down beach umbrellas, we brought down beach chairs, we brought down beach toys. Your mom brought down a little tent that they could sit under. We bought all of this stuff for the beach because historically we spend a lot of time on the beach. So we wanted to make sure that we were adequately prepared with shade and seating arrangements. But we mostly worried about stuff for us. The other van was full of stuff for the other people.
And we should probably say who these other people are that we went with.
Oh, yeah. We went with your parents and your sister and your brother and his fiance.
Yes, and they drove down in one car.
In your parents' van.
Yes, and you and me and Eli and Lily drove down in our van.
Yes.
So this adventure started when we left our house early that first Saturday around 4:30 a.m.
The goal was to leave at 4. I woke up at 3:30. I'll be nice and say we left the house about 4:15. Definitely did not leave the house the time I intended us to leave the house, but we tried and we got pretty close.
We packed the car the night before.
Yep, we had packed the car the night before, got to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning to then get up at 3:30. Was not going on a whole lot of sleep.
No, but that was our fault.
That was our fault. We decided to go to a friend's birthday party. I wanted to. I needed to. Social interaction.
Yes, one of our friends, Tony, turned 30, and he had a super mega cool kid birthday party at a barcade, which is an 80s styles arcade, but they serve alcohol.
And everything's free play because you're paying for drinks. Even the pinball machines, which is rare for these places. So that was nice.
Yes, so it was a new place that just opened up, and we had enough people that we could rent out the entire place just to ourselves.
Yes, so it was 2 hours of unlimited play. Here's a ticket for $1 off your first drink. Our friends brought cake, so we got some cake, and the party ended at 10:30. There was an after party that we did not attend because we told them we would not be attending any after parties. We got home about 11 and then started packing the van.
Finished packing the van.
Finished packing the van. Everything was packed. It just needed to get into the van.
Yeah.
Which admittedly doesn't take super long. So we left the house at 4:15. We woke up the kids, loaded the kids in the van. Fortunately, they fell asleep pretty much right away after they got into their car seat. Fed the dogs half their breakfast. Well, Gave them each half of their breakfast. Zoe ate both breakfasts, so technically she got a breakfast and Clara got no breakfast.
Second breakfast. It's essential. You saw her eat Clara's breakfast?
Yes.
She's a brat. You're a brat, Zoe.
Clara was a hot mess, so we had to race out of the house because they knew something was up and they did not want us to leave without them. But unfortunately, we were not going to add 2 dogs to our fun, let's take a 10.5-hour car ride if we don't stop at all with 2 small children.
No. I would love to take them to the beach just to see what they would do, but I don't think they would tolerate the ride down.
No. And Clara doesn't like water or new people, so she would just be a hot mess the whole time. Zoe would be in her happy place because she could lay in the sun. She could bark at the waves.
I want to see what they would do.
She would also try to abandon us, though, so they got to stay home.
Yeah, I don't think they would tolerate the ride down very well.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean, we get to the farm and that's 90 minutes away.
Well, I don't know if that so much is they don't like the long car ride, or since we've taken them so many times, they know the end of the car ride.
Once we get off the highway, they start freaking out.
Once we turn off a 32, they're like, yes, 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 out, 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 now, now, now. And it's like, girls, you got to chill and wait for us to actually get to the front door of the house. So our goal was to stop in Knoxville, Tennessee for breakfast. I had found a Cracker Barrel, had it plugged into the GPS and said, this is our goal for where we want to stop. And by golly, we made it. We didn't stop at all. Unless if maybe I stopped for a bathroom break, but I don't even think I did that on the way down. I think I just ran out of the van when we got there and said, I have to pee.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So we stopped to eat breakfast. We changed diapers. Elliot got to eat. We got to eat. Lily was like, I don't know where I am, but pancakes and sausage are yummy, so I'm happy. And we swapped drivers. We got gas. We got coffee.
We were ready to go.
2 hours after we stopped. We learned how to economize stops after this. And then I discovered that while I had downloaded movies onto the iPad using the Disney Plus app, the Disney Plus app decided that it needed to be updated, and that once I updated it by making a Wi-Fi hotspot in the mountains, none of those movies that you downloaded work now. So okay, I'm going to try to download a movie in the mountains. It managed to download a third of Lilo and Stitch, even though it told me it was all of Lilo and Stitch.
If your iPad wasn't connected to Wi-Fi, how did it know that the Disney Plus app needed to be updated?
I don't know, unless if it was when I was downloading the movies, it was like, hey, I'm on Wi-Fi, something's not right, iTunes Store is telling me I need an update. I'll let you know the next time you open the app. And since I didn't open the app again until we got in the car, it was like, hey, I have problem now.
I guess so. That's weird to me that it would know that it didn't update.
It was annoying for sure.
It should work without an update, you would think.
You would think, but technology is stupid. So we watched about 20 minutes of Lilo and Stitch, and then the iPad was just like, hey, something went wrong. I have no more Lilo and Stitch. And Lily and myself were like, wait, what? Confusion. And then we just stopped watching the iPad, and Lily looked out the window so she could see some trees. We went through some tunnels, and she liked that. And then she fell asleep.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Eli was pretty chill up until this point.
He was. Well, so we made it. We stopped at a Wendy's. We swapped drivers at that point again.
Stopped at North Carolina somewhere. It got really hot.
It did start to get warm.
Because in Ohio, when we left, there was a frost warning.
Yes, it was very cold when we left. And I want to say about this point, because when I had been sitting in the back, I had been talking to Becky, your brother's fiance, for a while on the phone, hearing about the troubles that were happening in their car. And right before we swapped drivers, I get a text message that says, we think the AC is out. And I'm like, oh boy, good luck. I'm driving now, bye. So I tell Joe, okay, ask your mom how things are going. So we're getting complaints from Joe's mom and Becky. I don't know why your sister didn't throw herself into the mix too. About how the AC is out, everybody's hot, everybody's cranky. They're doing whatever they can to keep cool. Your dad's trying to fix it on the side of the highway.
He was on the highway?
I don't know if it was the side of the highway. Your dad was trying to fix it somewhere. Because they're still like 5 hours away or something ridiculous. Because we stopped to eat about 2, and I don't think they got there until like 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know their journey as well as ours.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, y'all are on your own. Just get a bunch of cold drinks. You'll make it. It'll be fine. Let me crank our AC a little bit so I feel better about my life. And then we get off. Well, we almost make it to I-95.
Yeah, so I'm going to use a fancy analogy, a nerdy analogy. So the last 90 minutes or so of the trip down reminded me kind of that first, well, I guess it's the first full scene of the episode 3 in Star Wars.
Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith.
Episode 3.
Yes, episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
It reminded me of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Are you correcting me?
I just got to keep my Star Wars streak up, man.
So when General Grievous destroys the controls to the ship and then escapes into an escape pod into his ship, leaving Obi-Wan and Anakin to pilot the ship that's about to crash land into Coruscant, which is one of the most populous worlds in the Star Wars universe. Caroline, in this example, is Anakin, telling everyone to calmly put their seatbelt on as the ship literally burns.
I've got this.
I'm Obi-Wan freaking out because all Anakin knows how to do is crash.
Hey. But did you die?
No, I did not die. And neither did Obi-Wan. Wow.
Spoilers.
So I'm Obi-Wan and I'm freaking out, and the kids are the ship as it enters the orbit of Coruscant. It's just in flames. Everyone's screaming. Everything is burning. And at this point in the trip, the kids have definitely had enough. We were talking about the temperature issues, and Eli was screaming because he wanted to get out of the car seat. But we also think that we didn't change his outfit soon enough because he was in a really warm onesie up until probably about 2 o'clock.
Well, no. So we had stopped at the South Carolina border at a rest stop to do diaper changes because the kids had woken up from their naps, or at least Lily had woken up from her nap, and let Lily run around for a bit. And it had gotten a little warm, but Elliot was still in his footy pajamas. And we spent probably a good half hour at this rest stop between diaper changes and letting Lily run around. So he spent quite a bit of time outside when it was probably a bit too warm for him to be in footy pajamas.
Yeah.
And then we said, let's get in the van and keep going.
So that was probably on us.
Yeah, we probably should have changed his outfit sooner. But we did change his outfit later after he started getting upset.
Yeah, and I think that helped, but he was just so upset that he kept crying.
Yeah, eventually cried so much that he threw up, which was interesting. But we stopped, we cleaned him up, had another outfit.
We did.
And then just said, we'll get there somehow, some way. And I think about at that point was when your family had caught up to us and passed us.
Probably.
We had been trying to keep track of each other as far as where we were, and we had constantly been at least a half hour ahead of them. And then that stop put us either barely ahead of them or like just behind them. And our next stop was for sure we were behind them.
We were trying to kind of play chicken with Eli because we were like, he's screaming an awful lot.
Maybe he'll fall asleep.
Is he going to fall asleep? And we even exited off the highway, and he stopped crying.
And we're like,
and I think we even turned back onto the highway as he started screaming again.
We did. I forgot about that. I was like, I'll get off the highway. Oh, wait, he's fine. We're getting back on the highway now. Oh, my goodness. What is going on? But the goal was just, okay, let's get 10 minutes down the road, 20 minutes down the road. How much further down the road can I get before we stop, take him out, try to calm him down, to just shove him back in the van and keep going?
Yeah, the GPS said 30 minutes, but we kept stopping.
Yeah.
Because
so it's like, oh, we're going to get there at 6:30, 6:45. 7:15, 7:30. There was a point where I was like, we're not stopping anymore. Like, if he throws up again, he throws up again, whatever. We're just powering through and we're going to get going. Or we're going to do like the super illegal thing and one of us will hold him. But that is like last ditch. If we can't tolerate this, I guess we'll find a way to make that work.
We did not want to do that.
No, he stayed in his car seat the whole time. Well, the whole time the vehicle was moving. If the vehicle was not moving, it was like, okay, get out of your car seat, burp ya, change ya, something. I don't know. I love you, but we have to get to this strange house we've never been to before it turns dark, so we can at least get your pack-and-plays set up before you have to go to bed.
So then we eventually get to the house and everyone immediately calmed down for another happy ending, as Obi-Wan puts it.
Yeah, so we ended up getting there about 7:30. We made it. Half of your family greeted us and helped us unload stuff out of the van once we got there.
Well, I was texting them 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Get down here.
Take a child.
You better have ordered food. Everyone is not happy. We were literally that ship that was on fire.
We kind of were. But we made it.
Yes, we did make it. Everyone was happy after we got out of the car seats.
We had delivery for dinner. We had Bob Evans and the ridiculous amount of biscuits that they gave us. That's how we lived for like 4 breakfasts.
That was a lot of biscuits. I don't know what my mom did.
I don't know either. So many biscuits, but they were so yummy. We had them with butter. We had them with jelly. We had them with bacon and sausage. And then they were gone. But it worked.
So do people know what Bob Evans is? That's like an Ohio thing, right?
It's mostly an Ohio thing, but like we've seen them in Florida, now in North Carolina. Granted, these are places that Ohioans go. Yeah. Ohioans go everywhere except Ohio.
Pretty much.
So cornhole, or bags as some people call it. Y'all are wrong, by the way. Cornhole is very Cincinnati, and it used to be that you knew you were at a place where other Cincinnatians had been if they had cornhole, or like other Ohioans had been, because cornhole was very Ohio, or at least very Midwestern. Typically pretty Ohio, but now it's everywhere, so you can't really go off of that anymore. But Bob Evans it's a farm family restaurant, but it's a chain. So it's like farm to table, but it's not farm to table because there isn't a farm next to your table anymore.
That's kind of their brand, though.
Yeah, it's like good home cooking if you live on a farm. So lots of biscuits and gravy, not the British version of biscuits or British version of gravy. Bacon, eggs, hamburgers, yummy things. I normally get breakfast foods when we go there.
Though they do like dinner.
They do dinner stuff too, but I like their breakfast stuff.
That's what they're known for.
Yep. So after we eat dinner, I was like, hey, Lily's still awake. The beach is right there. We gonna go for a walk. I guess Elliot had already fallen asleep at this point.
I think I was upstairs in our bedroom with Eli.
Yeah. So I think you were upstairs with Elliot. And Jenna, Lily, and myself walked to the beach because it was right there. We had been debating whether to get a house on the beach or a house 1 or 2 rows back. And I'm very glad that we picked one on the beach. And by the end of the week, we were all very glad we had picked one on the beach, because it was literally like we opened the gate to leave the pool deck, and there was sand. You'd go up 6 steps and down 3. Off of our little our little bridge over the dune, because the sand on the other side had blown up so much the bottom 3 steps were gone. Like they were there, but they were covered in sand, so you didn't have a railing, because the railing, like the sand was up to where the railing ended, and another 50 or 100 yards, depending upon where the tide was, you were toes in the water. So it was really close.
It was really nice.
It was really nice. So we took Lily. We walked through the sand.
What was her reaction?
She's like, wow.
Yeah, that's what she does when her mind is blown. She whispers, wow.
Yeah. I don't think she entirely knew what was going on, because it was pretty dark at this point. But, I mean, it was sand. It was water. It was new. So then we took her inside and we put her to bed.
And can we just backtrack and say why I was upstairs?
Oh, yeah.
Watching Eli.
Future blog post that will be written by the time this episode drops. You know that bag that we really needed?
The one with the monitors and the white noise machine.
And our deodorant and the chargers for half of our things. It's in the library at home.
Whoops.
Yep. So backtracking a whole lot, I packed a nice little gallon-sized baggie, almost stuffed to the brim, that I called Sicky Butts. And it was like everything we could possibly need for the kids. It was all their diaper creams. It was lotion. It was all their nasal spray stuff. I had nail clippers, all this stuff in their bag.
Everything that you could imagine.
That we might need for the kids. I forgot to pack our medicine. We were halfway through the neighborhood and I realized I didn't pack our allergy meds or our vitamins. Hey, Joe, should we go back and grab those? We probably shouldn't because Clara was a hot mess when we were leaving. It's only going to get worse if we try to run in the house to get 2 things. And I was like, yeah, that's a really good point. We'll just buy it down there. It'll be fine.
Clara really has a lot of anxiety.
She does. She's anxious about a lot of things, and we don't quite know why.
I worry about that, like with her heart and everything.
So if we would have come into the house, we would have seen that bag on the floor in the library and been like, oh yeah, let's grab that and throw that in the van. But since we did not do that, we did not grab the bag. So we start unloading the van. And
we did it for you, Clara.
And figuring out where to put stuff for the kids, because Lily's going to sleep in Jenna's room. Elliot, we guess, will sleep with us, or maybe we'll put him in this extra bedroom. And I'm like, hey, Joe, grab the bag with the baby monitors. And then I look at my phone and notice that we have a snap from our friends in Cincinnati. It is a video of, hey, I hope you guys didn't need this bag, but it looks pretty important.
Whoops.
Briefly contemplate having my mother overnight us the bag, and then realize that most delivery services, other than like food delivery services, probably will not deliver to the house because the rental company will have everything delivered somewhere else because they'll assume it's for the owners, and realize that, yeah, we probably have to buy all this stuff tomorrow.
Yay.
So your mom had already placed an order for pickup for tomorrow at Walmart.
For Sunday.
Yeah, for Sunday. And we said, okay, I will drive you because my van has air conditioning so we can keep the cold stuff cold, kind of. And I can pick up some baby monitors, like some cheap ones, some medicine, and deodorant, and some other things that we realized that we probably needed. And I'm about halfway through the store getting the stuff that I need. That's just to supplement everything in her order. When I give her a call to ask her, hey, did you put an order in for this? Should I not buy it? And she's like, they canceled my order and I don't know why. And they can't tell me why.
Oh boy.
So she made the order on her phone on the drive down. When we got to the house, she changed the order based on things that we did or did not have at the house. Fortunately, I had packed toilet paper and paper towels in our van, because I was like, we have plenty of it at our house. We'll just bring it down to make sure that when we get to the house, we at least have these 2 essentials. Everything else should at least kind of be there, hopefully. Or we can at least buy it when we're down there. But toilet paper and paper towels, 2 big things to have. So she placed a pickup order and we just said, okay, we'll make it through tonight. We'll get it there tomorrow. So we all go to bed. I wake up super early and I can't sleep. I sit on the back porch and watch the sunrise. It was very pretty and very early and I was very tired. So once Judy is up and ready to go for the day and the kids are up and ready to go, I take her to Walmart for what should be a quick trip. So Elliot stayed at home. And fortunately for you, Elliot was good while we were gone.
Yes, because you stayed at Walmart more than you wanted to.
Yes.
Or needed to.
So once Judy tells me that they don't have our order, but we still need stuff, we at least need to get through the next 24 hours. So I come out, I move the van because I was in a pickup spot and say, okay, you take the food half, I'll take the non-perishable stuff, and we'll meet in the middle and figure out what else we need. So we managed to get through the whole store, get most of the stuff that we need, and then head home. And we had thought that her order got canceled because her credit card company had flagged it as a suspicious purchase because she was out of state ordering a lot of things online. But it worked. Like, we had her swipe her card first because if her order didn't go through, we were just going to scan all my stuff and then I would just pay for everything. But her card worked. So we have no idea what was going on with that. So you stay at home to watch the kids. How did that go?
I think we watched Scooby-Doo or something.
You guys did watch a lot of Scooby-Doo early on in the week. It was Scooby-Doo and then Care Bears. And I have a picture somewhere of your brother and sister watching Care Bears while Lily is like nowhere near the TV eating lunch. So your father is Mr. Fix-It, and he is very good at fixing things and knows a lot about repairing cars and is spending a lot of time on YouTube trying to figure out how to fix the AC in his car. Partially because I gave him the ultimatum, if you don't have your car fixed by Wednesday, I will find a shop and take it in and send you the bill. Because I am not listening to everyone but you complain the whole drive home about not having AC.
Which would have happened.
It would have happened. And fortunately, your father listens to me, mostly because it would have affected his pocketbook. So he was trying to figure out how to fix the van.
I think he was just trying to understand what was wrong with it.
Probably by that point, because I might not have given him the ultimatum until after we got back from Walmart. At some point, though, I did tell him, you have until Wednesday, or I am taking care of this.
Well, I mean, he didn't have any tools. I don't really think he could have done anything.
He said he had tools, but I don't know if he had the tools that he would have needed.
Oh, he told you he was literally gonna...
He was literally going to try to fix it himself. So, your mother and myself picked up Starbucks on the way home.
That was really nice.
I needed me some coffee. Once we unloaded the car, I ate lunch. Well, everybody ate lunch. And then we go to the pool. And because it's early May, we want to make sure that the pool has a heater, which it did. But we think it might have gotten too cold the night before, and the heater kicked off.
The first Saturday into Sunday, that was the coldest that it got.
Yeah, because it was pretty chilly when we went out to the beach. So most of Sunday was spent. Is the pool getting warmer? Does the pool feel warmer than it did before? Is the pool okay? And the pool did get warmer. Eventually it got too warm, and then your dad turned the heater down a little bit.
Yes.
He fixed it too good.
Yes.
So Lily had a blast in the pool. It had been a very long while since she had been in a pool. And Elliot got to hang out in the shade. He didn't get a lot of pool time. And then it was nap time. So we put both kids to bed, and they napped for a ridiculously long time. We had to wake them up so we could go to dinner because it was decided that we were going to go out to dinner Sunday night, and nobody wanted to make decisions. So Caroline, you pick where we go. We're thinking about going to this part of town. So I found a restaurant called Drunken Jack's, which is a seafood joint, because it was requested that I pick something kind of seafoody because we're near the ocean where there's lots of seafood, and we live in a very landlocked state that is very hard to get seafood for cheap. So let's go to a restaurant that has seafood. So we all go to Drunken Jack's. It was very yummy.
It was really good.
So there are 9 people that went on this trip, 7 of which can order meals, 4 of which ordered steak.
Is it well done too?
No. We managed to get them all down to medium well. Because your sister was the first one to order, and she asked how she wanted her steak done, and I said medium well before your mother could say well done, because I didn't want to have to wait an hour to get our food.
When it comes to the meat, I guess, to steak, to burgers, to anything like that, my family's kind of ridiculous.
A little bit. No pink at all.
And they know. I mean,
they know they're ridiculous.
Yes.
They know they are the problem. Do they always accept that? I don't know. But they are aware. They're kind of getting better.
They're a little bit extra.
So I order seafood. You order seafood, and your mother orders seafood. Everybody else gets steak. But they have super yummy hush puppies that we were eating like crazy. Lily loved them.
We didn't even order anything for Lily. She just ate everyone else's stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, she lived off of the appetizers and other people's plates.
She was in heaven.
She was. She got all the attention.
We didn't even sit by her.
No, we didn't. She was at the complete other end of the table. So we came home, put the kids to bed, and you hadn't been to the beach yet. So I said, okay, the kids are in bed. There's 5 other people in the house that can watch after the kids.
We have monitors.
We have monitors now. So we locked Elliot in his own room. We didn't lock him in his own room. Elliot had his own room. We're going to go for a walk down the beach. So we had a nice little walk down the beach. And then we played Mario Party on the porch, which was nice. First time we've played Mario Party on my Switch.
That was fun. So now we go to Monday, and we had a very slow day. Everyone slept in except for the kids, of course.
I mean, why would they sleep in? It's not like they're on vacation. They have nothing to vacation from. Their lives are one big vacation.
Yes. So we go to the beach with my mom. We eventually go to the beach with my mom, my dad, sister, Lily, and Eli. It was really windy again. Actually, it was pretty windy the entire week.
Yeah.
And for most of the week, there was a warning for a strong undercurrent.
Yeah, the water was a bit too cold.
Riptide.
So we didn't really go into the water more than maybe up to our knees, and that was it.
Yeah, and on top of that, there was the riptide too.
Yeah.
Which can be dangerous.
So we brought umbrellas, a tent, beach chairs, coolers. We brought a lot of stuff out onto the beach with us. So it was like, we're going to hang out down here. It's going to be great. It's going to be so much fun. And after about a half hour, the kids were like, no, thank you.
Eli mostly.
Yeah, we think he didn't like the wind. We're not really quite sure. He just wasn't really a happy camper whenever we were on the beach.
Yeah, my brother and his fiancée, Becky, they kind of left to do their own thing.
They probably needed some space at that point.
Yeah.
If they never go on vacation with your parents again, I would semi-understand why. At the very least, they're never going to travel with them ever again.
So, and then they went to get a pickup order from the grocery store, which was nice.
Yeah. So while we didn't spend a whole lot of time on the beach, Lily did super enjoy the ocean. She liked telling the waves to come get her. She squealed anytime she got splashed. I think she only really had one instance where she was super upset about getting splashed in the face.
My mom said she got splashed in the face and she giggled.
Yeah, so like she got like sand in her eyes or something. So we washed her face off because I brought a big 1-gallon water cooler like people use on construction sites just for that reason. So if we needed to like wash out Lily's face, we had plenty of water on hand to do that.
It did come in handy.
It did, but we didn't have to use it as much as we thought we did. So we came inside, ate some lunch. The kids went to bed. I hung out on the porch with the baby monitors because we didn't know how far of a range they had, and the kids were in the house on their own.
And one of the monitors needed to be plugged in.
All the time?
Yes.
Because it was an El Cheapo, where it did not come with rechargeable batteries in the parent unit. It didn't come with any batteries in the parent unit. Parent unit, able to be used, not plugged in, with your own AA batteries. It didn't really matter that much, though.
Which we did not have.
No, but I don't know if I would have felt comfortable being on the pool deck without anybody else in the house.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I would have been on the porch anyway.
So while you did that, I was in the pool floating.
You were very happy about that.
Well, I mean, it was bath water.
Oh, yeah, that was when it was still bath water.
We had the heat up. It was probably 85 degrees or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was really warm. And when I get in warm water, my muscles just stop working. It's like I need to relax. Like my body just protests at any electric pulse that my brain gives it, saying, you need to move. Nope. Just everything shuts down. And I relax.
So eventually Lily woke up, which meant you guys had to kind of get your acts together. And gave Lily some snacks, and we put her in the pool. And so I think Elliot just hung out on the pool deck, but we were all hanging out, and it was determined that Josh was going to grill with the charcoal grill that night for dinner.
And he knew that there was a charcoal grill.
Yes. So we bought charcoal. Well, charcoal was purchased, but it was not match start charcoal, and we had no lighter fluid. So we tried some hacks that did not work to light the charcoal, because really, even with match start charcoal or with lighter fluid, you still need a charcoal chimney, which we did not have. So charcoal can be really hard to start without a charcoal chimney. So the sky was starting to look a little bad. Lily was starting to get a little cranky.
Like everything happened at once.
Yeah. Josh was having no luck lighting this grill. And then all of a sudden your parents come down the stairs. Bye, we're going out on a date night to get lighter fluid. We'll see you soon. And we're like, but didn't you just say you were going to come out and help with the kids?
And it was after that they left that the wind started and the sky got noticeably dark.
Yeah, so we're like,
that's when we noticed it.
Get everybody in the house. Quickly, please.
Clear the pool deck because we have cans of adult beverages. Although I don't think I was drinking. It was mostly the kidless millennials of the family.
Yeah, so we ended up giving up on the charcoal grill and eventually just cooked dinner in the oven, which we should have just done in the first place.
It took us a while to get to that point.
It did. And did we ever use that charcoal grill and the charcoal and lighter fluid that we purchased?
No.
Nope. Not a one. So then we had a very entertaining evening. Jenna was our nanny for the week, is what she billed herself as. And what she, that was all her. That was not us. So she was like, I'll put the kid to bed. I'll get up with the kid in the morning. She had no choice because the kid was sleeping in her room anyway. But she super volunteered that. And we totally expected Lily to end up in our room for the second half of the week. And that didn't happen. So they did really good.
We ended up eating at 8 o'clock?
We probably ate 8 or 8:30, which for us isn't too bad, but for Lily, that's super late.
Yes.
And
she was cranky.
Jenna got her into her pajamas. And then all of a sudden we hear, somebody come quick, help, ah. And we're like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And we run up the stairs. I am in the middle of eating an ice cream cone that I am still holding on to, because I don't know where I'm going to set it down. I don't know what's going on.
That's dedication.
And we come to find out that Lily had thrown up on Jenna. On Jenna and her bed, but barely on her bed. The only stuff on the bed is stuff that has bounced off of Jenna. So we clean everybody up. Lily gets the bath.
And to be fair, what did my mom say about the stuff? It wasn't
digested. So it wasn't like
it was a virus.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was a virus. So we think it was just she hadn't eaten. So she just got sick when she ate, because she was like, I need food. I'm freaking out. And then her body was like, food? What's this? Reject. I mean, I also don't know how good of a diet she had that week, because we weren't really monitoring her that closely. So I don't know exactly what she ate.
She ate leftover steak.
She had leftover Jenna's steak, but I think she had that another night too, and she was fine. So we clean Jenna, we clean the kid, we strip the sheets off of her bed so we can wash them, because I packed everything but the kitchen sink. I had Tide Pods. We could do laundry. And then there were 2 beds in Jenna's room, so Jenna slept in the other bed while Lily slept in her pack and play, because we weren't going to have the sheets done in time.
She was fine the rest of the week.
She was fine the rest of the week. So I think it was just she ate too late. And we learned from that, let's not screw around with dinner time so much.
Yeah, we had discussions regarding dinner time. And young humans and nursing mothers.
Yes, I am a very hangry person. I'd say I'm trying to be a better person when I'm hangry, but I'm just trying to not get so hangry. So, I don't know. Tuesday, we went to the beach mid-morning and then the pool. We kind of figured out that our groove was spend a half hour on the beach, maybe bring a chair, mostly just bring beach toys, and then get in the pool. Eventually, Elliot got to go in the pool on Tuesday, so he liked that. He just kind of was like, oh, hey, pool. But I don't know this is a pool because I'm not even 12 weeks old yet and don't know what anything is. We got some lunch, and all day, the whole family was acting suspicious. Well, mostly just your mom. But I just figured she was just being weird because she was being weird. Because it was, we're going to have a surprise for dinner tonight. But Carrie, I'm going to tell you what the surprise is. It's tacos. But don't tell anybody else it's tacos.
I don't understand what her line of thinking was.
I don't either. Josh, Becky, and Jenna were going to go out to do some hokey tourist shopping because that all floats their boat. And they're like, we're thinking about getting an ice cream cake for Judy for Mother's Day. And I said, oh, that sounds good. Big Joe likes ice cream cake. And then Jenna's like, Carrie, what desserts do you like? And I'm like, seriously, girl, I've known you for more than half of your life. You have known me for more than half of your life. Any dessert is a good dessert. Which Becky tells her. She's like, it's Caroline. Anything. Oh, yeah. So they go out in the van that still has busted AC to pick up an ice cream cake, among other things. So it's like, okay, ice cream cake for Mother's Day. That floats. Mother's Day's on Sunday. And then there was everyone has to be out of the pool by 4:30 because we're all going to have a siesta.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not having a siesta with 2 kids.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? And then she told us to go to the pool.
Well, I was like, I'm going to the pool. And Dad's like, but
I thought the pool was closed. None of us knew what was going on. I offered to help with dinner because your mom seemed like she was super stressed with dinner. Like, I offered multiple times and she said no.
Yeah, I don't know where you were, but you came downstairs.
Oh, yeah, I came downstairs because it's like dinner's almost ready.
Oh, I think you were nursing.
I was probably feeding Elliot, and I come downstairs in leggings and a t-shirt. And like half the family's dressed up semi-nice. And I'm like, I'm going to go upstairs and change. I feel underdressed. And they're like, what? I mean, if you want to. So I go upstairs to the room. I close the door because I'm going to get changed. But like all I'm doing is taking off my shirt and throwing on a dress. And Joe comes in the door.
No, my mom yells, quick! Get the cake.
I don't think I heard that, but I heard, so you came in and you had this biggest, like you had the biggest grin on your face.
Because my mom is ridiculous.
And then
no one knows what's going on.
Hurry, go, go, go. And I'm like, Joe, when am I allowed to leave this room? How long am I supposed to stay in this room? He's like, what? You're not stuck. You can do whatever you want.
As I block the door.
Yeah. Oh, hey, let's go find your daughter. She's not downstairs anymore. Hey, what's that on my mom and dad's porch? Nothing suspicious anywhere.
So if you're listening to this and you're wondering what's going on, we threw Caroline a birthday party. A surprise birthday party.
A month before my birthday.
Yes.
So it's like we're having like the 30 days to Caroline's 30th. Keep the party going. So
you're turning 30 in June, and we decided to celebrate. So I guess the original plan was Mom wanted to decorate the kitchen.
Well, originally she wanted to have dinner outside on the bottom deck, which would have been nice, but not necessary.
But she wanted to decorate the kitchen on the first floor, so she didn't want us swimming and then randomly coming in while she was decorating.
Yeah, and then seeing it while we all came in.
So she was like, everyone has to get a siesta.
That doesn't really work with 2 small children.
As a parent of 2, one of 2 under 2, there would be no siesting.
No. Anytime you plan for them to be napping, they will not nap.
And it was like 5 o'clock too, so.
Yeah, that's not usual nap time. Usually Lily's up by then.
I don't think she thought through that portion of it.
No. But it was nice. We did some shots. We had some cake. We had some tacos. We played a very old version, practically ancient, of Family Feud. We suspect
it's like early 2000s.
I don't know, man. It was pretty old.
It mentioned the Phantom Menace.
It did mention the Phantom Menace. So our marriage went through a lot on this vacation. So we had this trivia. So we had this trivia game that was basically like name the top 10 in a survey.
So
like
Family Feud is top 10 answer. We interviewed 100 people.
Top X amount of answers are on the board.
Yeah. So my topic, well, it was a team effort, but no one in my family knows Star Wars trivia.
Yeah.
So it was basically Joe versus Caroline because we were on opposite teams.
Yes.
Even though there were other people on the team, which could have guessed, but no one did because they're like, Star Wars? I don't know Star Wars.
Even though we had just discussed Star Wars characters with them earlier that day. Because Jenna was asking me who my favorite Star Wars character was. Because it was May 3rd and May the 4th was the next day. So she was all like, I should know things about Star Wars. So you got, I don't remember what was on the other side. Because it was double-sided cards and you can choose which side you wanted to do. But yours was top 10 characters in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. As polled by these random people.
Yes.
So
I guess I didn't understand that part.
Well, yeah, because that'll come in later. So you got 6.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
There's 10 answers.
And then my team pulled a card, and I had top 10 characters in Star Wars, the original trilogy.
Which is 3 movies.
So
it's not apples to apples. One is...
I had a wider range of characters to choose from. I got 9 out of 10. I only missed Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
It was a weird one. But you missed C-3PO and R2. And R2 is a main character in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. He helps Anakin destroy the Separatist control ship. He saves Queen Amidala when their ship gets hit. He's the only R2 unit that manages to repair the ship and make it back safely. The other ones done died.
Wow. Okay.
And you missed like 2 other people, but I don't remember who they were.
3PO was in like one scene, and he wasn't even completed.
He wasn't, but... This is how this game works. My team pulled a card that was Animals in the Jungle. Top 10 animals in the jungle. On this card were elephants. Okay, Asian elephants I think kind of live in the jungle. I'll give you that one, maybe. Giraffes and zebras. I don't know what jungle you're from, but giraffes and zebras live in the savannah, which is not very jungle-like.
You're not going to let that one go, are you?
No. You might as well just call it Animals at the Zoo. Because if I had known that was just, sure, I think giraffes live in the jungle, I would have just started naming off animals in the zoo. I was very angry. This game is very stupid.
We abandoned it, and then we played Uno Attack.
We did, and that was fun. I forgot how much fun Uno Attack can be.
I don't think I've ever played it.
We own it. It's in the game closet.
It was part of the collection of toys that our teachers had. I don't know what grade, but when we had like a recess and it was raining, we had to stay inside and we would play.
They gave you guys toys? We just had to sit in the cafeteria. Or maybe we would get to run around the gym, but mostly we just had to sit in the cafeteria.
No, we stayed in our homeroom, and sometimes the teachers had like dominoes or I don't know, deck of cards.
Lame. So we had fun playing board games. I stayed up too late, and then we all went to bed. And on Tuesday, Joe and Judy bit the bullet, and they called some car repair shops. And Joe found a place that he liked, and they opened at 7 on Wednesday. So he was going to drop their van off at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. Carrie, which is what they call me, you can be ready to leave the house so we can get there at 7. Sure, Joe. I'm going to take an infant with me. Sure, I'll be ready to go at 7. I did not set an alarm. I look at my phone when I wake up, and it's like I wake up at like 6:40, which is not a terrible time to wake up. I have a message at like 6:15. Hey, Carrie, let me know when you're ready. I'm almost ready to go.
6:15.
And then at 6:40, which I think was the message that ended up waking me up, I have, hey, I'm leaving now. Here are the coordinates. Have somebody come pick me up.
Did he actually give you coordinates?
He actually gave me coordinates because he said the address takes you to the wrong place. You need to use the coordinates.
Weird.
Whatever. So I get up and out of bed. I get Elliot up and out of bed, and we leave the house at 7:20.
Whoops.
We pick up coffee and donuts on the way home. So that helps.
That was nice of you.
So by the time we got to the house, Lily's up. So we take Lily to the beach and then to the pool. She crashed way earlier than usual, but I mean, it was a very eventful week. Your mom ordered us some DoorDash for lunch, which was a race between me and your father and the DoorDash as to who would get there first. But we always knew the DoorDash would get there first. So your sister wanted a sun hat. So I throw your sister in the very back of the van, and I take your dad and your sister to the car shop, drop him off, and take
when you went to pick it up?
When we went to pick it up. And I take your sister to the hokiest of hokey tourist shops because it's called Jaws, and you have to go through a giant shark to get in, and they have live sharks inside this hokey tourist shop. Because I need to go to at least a hokey tourist shop so I can get us some magnets. And
which we still have to give to people.
I gave them out.
You did?
For good.
Wow.
I'm so proud of me. So I get some magnets. Jenna kept complaining about the sun being too hot on her head. So I was like, you're going to buy a sun hat. And I managed to get her to make a decision to buy a sun hat. And we make it home not crazy long after the food showed up. But like you and Lily had already eaten lunch.
It was Chick-fil-A, right?
That was Chick-fil-A.
Yummy Chick-fil-A. And we had all the sauces.
We did have all the sauces. We were not in the middle of a Chick-fil-A sauce shortage. But if you're interested, I have 10 packets of random Chick-fil-A sauces in my fridge. I am willing to sell for you. Shipping free. $500 takes them all.
Wow. I was going to say $20 each.
I know what I have. Don't lowball me. Lily watched some Sesame Street and then fell asleep watching Sesame Street. I hung out in the pool with Elliot, and then we had a date night.
We did.
So we went to a super fancy restaurant that wasn't like super fancy, more like super expensive, but it was so yummy.
We had like a picnic table.
We did, because it was outside. That's what you deal with. All restaurants outside, some variation on picnic table seating.
Yeah, and it was right next to Drunken Jack.
It was a few doors down from Drunken Jack's.
Which is in an area called Murrells Inlet.
Yes, so it is an inlet, which is like fingers of the ocean that come in. So you got like your boats can come and dock closer to land without all the waves.
And there was a boardwalk.
There was a boardwalk. So after I shoved my face full of sushi, calamari, steak, and crab, and my like fifth choice of side, because half of their sides apparently include mushrooms, which I can't eat, we rolled ourselves down the boardwalk to burn off some of the calories of the yummy, yummy food we had eaten.
Yeah, so it's a nice place.
It is.
And the thing that you forgot to tell about Drunken Jack's is that right across from the restaurant, there's something called Goat Island, which apparently the owners own, and they put a bunch of goats on it because the goats eat the grass.
Yeah, so according to Drunken Jack's website, they're across from Goat Island. It's an island where they decided to put goats on it from the spring to the fall. If there's any threat of a hurricane, they do evacuate the goats off of the island. Apparently there are peacocks too, but we didn't really see the peacocks, and they help keep the grass levels down. They are very well-fed, happy goats. They get to have their little winter home when they're not on the island. They're nice and safe. And so we got to watch them run around for a bit.
Yep, they were there. We were watching them. They exist.
They do. So we also noticed, because since we had gone down to Murrells Inlet on Sunday, it wasn't very busy, but it was still kind of busy. If we tried to go during tourist season, I don't think we would have been able to find a place to park. But when we went on Wednesday, we noticed, oh hey, there's a tent up that looks like it's full of t-shirts, and there's another tent that's going up right now on our way to dinner. And when we came back, the tent they were assembling was up already. It wasn't full of stuff, but it was up, and we saw more and more bikes. Bike week is coming. So the only downside of staying in Myrtle Beach at the beginning of May is you might coincide with Bike Week, which might be a thing that you're into. I don't know. Not necessarily something that we are into.
So basically a bunch of people with motorcycles descend upon the city or town. So, and they do motorbike things with their loud engines.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, peace out. This is the last time we are going out to eat food, because it's going to start getting busy from here on out. But we had plenty of food at the house at this point. So we came home. The kids were still awake, but just barely. We got to tuck them in, and then we went to bed because we're party people and tired.
So that brings us to Thursday.
Yep. So Thursday, we woke up pretty early compared to everybody else. Like, I want to say we got the kids up and everybody else was still sleeping. So we loaded up the kids in their stroller. Well, Elliot got the front pack. Lily got the stroller, because we only had room in the van for the umbrella stroller. So they got to share that. And we had noticed there was a park down the street. So we took Lily to the park, and it was a nice little park that was basically for kids like 5 and younger. 5 might even be pushing it, because Lily is was big enough to do just about everything at the park except for ladders. She still has some issues with ladders.
There were 2 separate play sets.
Yeah, but they were both still pretty small, like low to the ground. Like I'd say they're maybe like 4 feet off the ground at the most.
There is a standalone set of swings.
Yeah, there was standalone swings. They had 2 sets, one with just kiddie swings, like the bucket swings, and then another set that had your standard swings. And it was a nice little playground, completely fenced in.
Covered in shade too, right?
Yeah, very shady because it had lots of big trees around it.
Rubber grass. It was a rubber mulch.
It was mulch, just regular mulch.
Oh, regular mulch.
Yeah.
And it was right next to a community garden.
Yes. So when we were there Thursday morning, they were tending the community garden while Lily ran around and played with kids from Louisville or Lexington. I'm going to say Louisville because I keep forgetting. But their grandparents were from Fairfield.
In Cincinnati.
Yeah. So Cincinnati. So we were talking to them, and they had been coming down to Myrtle Beach since the 90s and had been staying in Surfside Beach more recently, and they preferred Surfside Beach to other areas of Myrtle Beach, which I would totally agree with if you have family. If you're looking for very family stuff, Surfside's good. If you want to be like hokey tourist party, go more towards Myrtle Beach.
North Myrtle Beach is good too.
Yeah, North Myrtle Beach is good for family stuff too. I think it's just a little further away.
Yeah, so we stayed in Myrtle Beach during that trip that I referenced earlier with my little sister and my brother. When my little sister was 1 year old, and we watched the same Barney tape over and over. We stayed pretty much in the heart of Myrtle Beach, and like you said, it was full of party people and hooligans and teenagers. And I think we stayed in a hotel too, which I think that was the last time that we stayed in a hotel. But after that, we've always stayed in North Myrtle Beach in different places. And we would rent out condos and apartments and stuff like that because that was more common. It was an Airbnb that didn't exist, but there were still like rental properties and stuff.
Yeah.
So we've never stayed in Surfside before until this trip.
And Surfside was nice.
It was very nice, yeah.
We'll probably stay there next time we go down. So Lily got some pool time after we got back from the park and turned into our bartender serving us drinks because at some point in the day on Wednesday, they taught Lily how to be a bartender. Fallback career.
So my sister purchased us at these hokey tourist shops. She purchased koozies.
Yes.
So drink holders that keep your can cold that say Myrtle Beach on them. And we already had solo cups. So Lily would put the solo cups in the koozies. And also my sister, who was really into hokey stuff, she had a bunch of...
They're blow-up drink holders for the pool.
Floaties for the pool,
yeah. Shaped like fun things like donuts and duckies. And there was a unicorn. There was one with a palm tree on it. One that had a beach umbrella that was a very useless umbrella. Very fun. Lily had a blast with them. So we left half of them down at the pool and half of them lived in the living room.
So she would put the solo cup in the drink holders and we...
mix it with the little measuring spoon.
There was a measuring spoon set in one of the drawers and we gave it to Lily and she would mix up the pretend drinks and she would serve it to us.
And we'd say, oh, so yummy. And then she'd put she'd be like, oh, yay, they like it. And so then she'd like stir it up with a different spoon or like pretend to dump something in it and be like, oh, more flavor. Thank you. So yummy.
She really enjoyed that.
She did. So because she was our bartender, we had to drag her out of the pool. She was starting to turn purple. She did not care. Your mom said she heard her come in the house before she got into the house because she was very not happy about having to go inside.
Poor Lily.
Yeah.
She's going to love the water, but she doesn't have any fear.
She has no fear.
So we have to be careful.
Yeah. And Thursday night, there was lots of, is that thunder or is it motorcycles? It was motorcycles.
Spoilers.
Lots and lots of motorcycles. So then Friday was interesting. It was our last full day of vacation. It was very bittersweet. We did not want to leave.
No, we did not.
But you weren't feeling well.
I was not feeling well. I don't know what happened, but the night before I was chilly. I was chilled, but we were outside, right? I think we were.
Yeah, we sat on the porch for a while.
Did we do Mario Party again?
No, I played Animal Crossing while you played on your DS, and we just sat next to each other. Enjoyed each other's company.
But it was windy, and I was really cold.
Yeah, you were more cold than I was.
I was kind of shivering. And I even had a sweatshirt on, and I think I had sweatpants on as well.
Yeah, you were kind of bundled up.
So I woke up on Friday kind of feeling off.
So it was, oh no, am I going to have to do this whole drive on my own tomorrow?
Yeah, I was kind of shaky and I was tired.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, you stay in bed. You get as much sleep as humanly possible. So maybe that'll help you kick this. Drink more liquids and stay away from the children. Do not pass this on to them.
We had, like you said, you packed a sicky butt quote.
Yeah, so we could, I packed your thermometer and we checked your temperature and it never really went over 100, but you were in the 99s for most of the day.
Yeah, it was just really weird.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen to me.
Yeah.
Recently, as an adult, at least.
Yeah. So Lily and myself, along with your mom and dad, went down to the beach for a bit while you and Elliot napped. And then everybody else went shopping again. Well, they went out to breakfast and then they went shopping. We're not big fans of shopping. So Lily was adorable, though, because your dad was holding a bucket for her to put shells in. And she would pick up the shells and hand them to me. And if I put them in the bucket, she would hand them back to me. So either your father or the bucket was not to be trusted. I had to hold everything.
I'm sure when she's older, she'll tell you.
Yeah. So we spent about an hour on the beach. We tried to milk it as long as we could. And then we put Lily in the pool so she could get some final pool time before weather warms up in Cincinnati, which will be who knows when. But it'll also be cicada season, so I don't know how she's going to feel about those yet. She's probably going to love them, knowing this kid.
It's probably going to be a double-edged sword. She's going to like them from afar, but then when I go to bring one up to her, she's going to go, ah.
Yeah, so we'll just let it ride. We'll see what happens. I cleaned up the pool deck along with the rest of the family. So we deflated floaties, we packed up the tent, we shook off as much sand as we could from things. I actually ran a load of laundry. It was my second load of laundry of our stuff that I did while we were on vacation, because I packed our clothes light with the intention of doing laundry, which worked out. Because on vacation, you don't need a ton of clothes, you don't need a ton of outfits, you just need like 2 or 3 nice outfits for when you're taking pictures, and then everything else can just be the same thing because nobody cares. But if you wash it, they're very appreciative of that. So we ended up with a big suitcase full of clean clothes and a small suitcase of dirty clothes, which also meant that when we got home, I didn't have to do 3 loads of laundry right away. Yes. So that was nice. 8 out of 10 would recommend. Not a huge fan of doing laundry on vacation, but it did make unpacking at home a lot easier.
Especially since that Sunday was Mother's Day.
Yes, so I didn't have to do 5 loads of laundry on Mother's Day in addition to my grocery shopping. Because when you're on vacation for a week, you don't have any food in the house. After Lily napped, I checked in on you and you still weren't doing great. But your siblings had picked up Powerade for you. So we filled you up full of Powerade.
I took a shower.
You took a shower. That helped. And Lily, Jenna, and myself went to the park. So it was a last-ditch effort to wear Lily out as much as we could before we left. And I think it worked. She had a lot of fun. She was the only kid in the park for the most part. There was somebody there that left when we got there. So she didn't really play with anybody but us. But it worked. We had no issues getting her to bed.
And then everyone helped us pack the van.
We packed up our stuff, ate some dinner. You were feeling a lot better by that point, which was good. And we packed up the van minus the pack and plays because the kids were sleeping in those, and made plans to hit the road in the morning.
So that brings us to the drive home.
Yep. We managed to go to bed at like 10 or 11. It might not even been, it probably was like super close to 10. So I got a lot more sleep. I woke up at 3 a.m., got the kids out of their pack and plays, to pack up the pack and plays, to put them in the car, put the kids in the car, and just started going.
We passed a lot of landmarks in the dark.
Yep.
Oh, that place was fun. That's where Elliot screamed for 10 minutes.
Yep. So fun. Such landmark.
That was the Walgreens that we stopped at.
Yeah. So there was 0 traffic and 0 care about the speed limit. The goal was to get as far as we could before the kids woke up.
We were safe though.
I really didn't speed that much. The goal was to make it to Asheville. Like if we can make it to Asheville, that's about halfway home, I think. I don't know.
In North Carolina.
Yeah. We wanted to make it to North Carolina if we could before the kids woke up. We almost made it. Unfortunately, just inside of South Carolina, Lily woke up and was getting a little restless. So we're like, okay, we can't make it another hour in the car. We'll find the nearest Cracker Barrel and we'll stop for breakfast. So unfortunately, when we walked in the door, they sounded like they were understaffed. Unfortunately, by the time we got seated, either more people showed up or I don't know what exactly happened. But service wasn't bad once we got there.
Yeah, so what happens usually, typically at restaurants, and this is coming from someone who worked at a restaurant for 7 years, who did everything except manage and drive. I worked at a pizza place. So what they typically do is they have a, what do you call it, a rotating schedule.
Yeah, so like 2 people get there when they open, and then like an hour later, 2 more people show up.
Yeah.
And then like 2 hours later, 2 more people show up based on how they think rushes are going to go. So I think the rush started earlier than they anticipated.
Right. So they probably only had, when they opened, because I'm guessing it is a breakfast place, they opened at like 6.
Yeah, we did get there before 8 a.m., I think.
Yeah. So I'm guessing they only had 2 servers, but that place was pretty full. And then probably at like 8 o'clock, 2 more servers were supposed to come in or something, or whatever their schedule is. That's typically how it is. It's not uncommon. And then at the end of the shift, either morning or evening, you also rotate out. So we had first out, second out, third out, and then 2 people closed.
Yeah. So fortunately, service was, we didn't really notice any blips in our service, and we more economized the stop. So once we got a table, that's when we started to change diapers. After we ate breakfast, that's when we fed Elliot breakfast, so we could try to reduce the amount of time we were stopped. And it worked. I think we were only stopped for a little over an hour instead of the 2-ish hours that we were stopped last time. Well, that we were stopped on the way down. And by this point, your family had started to catch up because they had left at 5:30 and they hadn't made any long stops yet.
I was proud of them, though. They left earlier than they anticipated.
Yeah, because they said they were going to leave at like 6 or 6:30, and they ended up leaving at 5:30, so that was nice. And overall, the drive home was pretty uneventful. We had less traffic slowdowns. The kids did pretty well being in the van for the long stretches, and we made fewer stops. I mean, we for sure made fewer stops, like unintended stops, because the kids weren't making a hot mess. And once we got outside of Cincinnati, though, the GPS kept adding on time. And we're like, uh-oh, what's going on?
It's pretty typical.
It's pretty typical. We're like, oh, yeah, they're painting the Brent Spence Bridge.
Something's going on with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes nothing is going on, and there's still a bunch of traffic.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, as of right now, the GPS is telling us to take the bridge. Let's not do that, though. Let's figure out which one of our standard reroutes will be faster. And eventually the GPS does say, yes, please reroute. Don't take the bridge. And so we're telling your parents all this because they're about 20 minutes or a half hour behind us on the road. And we're like, hey, we're going to reroute around the bridge so we don't have to mess with it, because even if it takes us 5 minutes longer to get home, in the long run of things, at least the car will be moving more, because the kids typically have more issues when the car is stopped and they can't get out versus when the car is moving.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we're just going to take the bridge. We'll be fine. Like, okay, really recommend rerouting, but you do you. So even though they had started off like 20 minutes or a half hour behind us, they got home almost an hour after us. Like, we had managed to unpack the car and say hi to the dogs and stuff.
We were making dinner.
Yeah.
We were ordering dinner or something.
We made Skyline.
Yes.
We were making dinner.
We were making dinner. That's right.
Because we were the cause of the Skyline shortage. We had 4 cans of Skyline in our cupboard. We couldn't buy Skyline in cans in the stores before we left. And we were going to bring Skyline down as our meal to make on vacation. And then we just forgot to pack it. We forgot to pack a lot of things. But we survived without the Skyline.
We did.
So we were in the middle of making Skyline and kind of getting unwound from being in the car for so long when they're like, hey, we finally made it home. And we're like, oh, yeah, you really should have listened. And they're like, yeah, we should have listened to you.
But the dogs were very happy to see us.
They were. They licked Lily's face and she giggled. She giggled when she saw them, too. She was very happy to see her dogs.
Yeah.
And any dog that we saw on vacation. She's like, dog.
She always pointed and said that, yes. She's getting, I don't think she says dog, but she goes, woof, woof, woof. Oh, it's really funny.
Yeah.
But our dogs, Zoe and Clara, they stayed with their friends.
They did. For dog brownie points. We thank them very much for taking care of our dogs that can be high maintenance at times.
Yes.
Because they're used to sleeping in our bed and getting lots of love and attention. And our friends do not like dogs sleeping in their beds, so they had to sleep in their crates, which they have not had to do for many a moon.
They are 7 and 5.
They were crate trained as puppies. And then once we were able to trust them, we just said, okay, you're fine. Zoe ended up having to go back into her crate at some point. We gave her like 3 days out of her crate. The first day she was fine.
This was when she was a puppy.
This is when she was a puppy. She was like a year old at this point. The first day she was fine. The second day, I think she might have peed on the floor once. And then the third day, she completely destroyed her dog bed. And we're like, okay, you get to go back into your crate during the day now.
But everyone is home. Everyone had a good time.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend buying a life jacket for your kids. Definitely recommend trying to drive through their nap time or sleeping times as much as possible.
So leave early in the morning.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can swing it, do it
overnight. Yeah.
But we haven't had that experience. We weren't that crazy.
Well, we did that when we were younger.
Not with kids.
But not with kids. So one of the times we went to Myrtle Beach with with a friend, we didn't go with family. We left Cincinnati about, I'm going to say 8 o'clock at night. And we got to the house about 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe closer to 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know if we napped. We might have just unloaded the car and then gone to the beach and then gone to the grocery store, and eventually we slept. But because we were going to a house that we weren't renting, it was his family's house or his family's place because it was a condo. We didn't have to worry about check-in times. And since we couldn't get into the house before 2 p.m., it didn't really make sense for us to drive through the night because then, sure, we'd get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, but what would we do? Because we wouldn't be able to go anywhere with the kids. And with COVID, you don't really know what's open and what's closed.
Right.
So half the fast food restaurants that we drove by, they would be open for drive-through but closed for dine-in or ordering inside. So you can't even go inside to order your food. You have to go through the drive-through.
No bathrooms either.
Yeah, no bathrooms either. So what are we going to do? It doesn't make sense for us to get there at 10 o'clock in the morning. But overall, the drive went a lot better than expected. Our next trip will probably be Asheville or closer as far as driving distance. Because they did fine until maybe like 2 hours or so outside of Asheville. So if we can shorten up how long we're in the car, everybody will be happier.
Yeah. Also, mind the temperature of your baby.
Yeah.
Especially the one who is...
rolls on rolls on rolls.
Less than 3 months old and 15 pounds.
Yeah.
The little stinker. I dressed him in his pajamas the other day, and I saw a really cute outfit, and I picked it up, and I checked the tag to check the size. It was 9 months. So I'm like, oh, he'll probably fit in it.
It'll probably be a bit big. It's fine.
Hopefully he won't be swimming in it. So I dressed him in it and I zipped it up and he was not swimming in it.
Nope. He mostly fit. So,
I mean, it wasn't tight on him or anything, but it was doable.
Yeah. So he's 3 months old now as of this recording. And
today he's 3 months old today.
Yeah. And this weekend, so before we record our next episode, I will be pulling out the 6 to 9 month bin for the 9 month pajamas. He's still fine in 6 months, like onesies and pants, because I think his length is more in his legs than his torso right now. So he can still fit in the 6 month onesies, but the 6 month footy pajamas, once he stretches, they pull down on his shoulders. So we're supposed to get him out of those so we don't inhibit his growth. I read that somewhere.
You're such a good parent. But yeah, check the temperature of your children, because the pumpkin seeds
they are basically little like body warmers. On the drive back home, we put Jenna had made Lily a fleece tie blanket on vacation. We covered Lily up in her fleece tie blanket and said, "We're cranking the AC." So we're like, "Lily, you'll be fine. You have a blanket." Let's just make sure baby brother's fine.
Yeah, I feel like it was like at 65 degrees or something.
I did have the AC set to 65.
It was
the AC at our house is set to 75 or 73.
Yeah.
But it's not a car, so.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the Ledwig family vacation 2021.
It was lots of fun. I'm glad we went.
Yeah. It was a lot earlier than usual.
Yeah, usually we go in August.
Or June.
Yeah, and it's so sunny and so hot.
Yeah.
But this was, sometimes it was a little chilly, but not like super cold.
Yeah, I was surprised. I wasn't surprised that we didn't go in the ocean, but I was surprised that I would want to swim. because it did feel good swimming.
Yeah, and like the last few times that we've been down to Myrtle Beach, we've had issues with jellyfish as far as like at least one person has gotten stung. And even though it was years ago, the last time we went to Myrtle Beach, we just had whole days where we did not go to the ocean. Like we would go to the beach, we'd get in the water for 20 seconds to cool off and then go back under the umbrellas. And even in that 20 seconds, somebody might get stung because there were so many jellyfish around. It was very frustrating. I mean, there's a chance we would have missed out on getting into the water anyway because we would have gotten stung by jellyfish and just been like, nope, not dealing with it, especially with the little ones. Because it's not bad, it's just annoying because it's like stinging for the next like 6 hours.
During that trip that you're talking about, I think I was the only one who did not get stung.
Yeah, you didn't believe us at first. Me and Matt are getting stung all over the place. And then the last day we go to the beach, I run into one of the managers at my work in a bikini. Like I'm in a bikini and I'm like, oh, hey, it's nice to see you and meet all of your family. I'm going to go drink this Gatorita, which is a Gatorade bottle full of margarita mixer.
To be young again.
I don't even think we were married yet. I think we were just engaged.
No, that was 2016.
Oh, yeah, we had just gotten married. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, because I was working and I was annoyed that certain people were emailing me and expecting me to answer.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. So that was our Myrtle Beach trip. So much fun. The kids are going to have like zero memories of it, but we're going to have lots of memories of it. So that's the important thing.
This is the part of the program where Caroline gets to tell us what's bugging her in children's television. So take it away.
Well, fortunately, when we were on vacation, I did not have to watch a lot of children's television with the child because other people did that for me. But this week, while watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, we were rainbow chasers or explorers or something. We were trying to find the pot of gold at the end of the Clubhouse rainbow, which Pete the leprechaun was trying to keep hidden from us. And they sing a song about the colors of the rainbow. And it goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue. And then it's indigo or violet, right? Wrong. Don't forget there's purple too. Rainbow colors for me and you. Like, I get that indigo and violet aren't used that often and can be semi-interchangeable with purple, but my hair is currently dyed indigo and violet, and they're important colors. So, like Roy G. Biv, they just completely ignored the iv and replaced it with puh.
I guess indigo is kind of a blue, so maybe they thought.
Yeah, well, indigo is kind of blue. Violet is definitely purple. I mean, at one point, so like roses are red, violets are blue. At one point, they didn't have a name for purple. So that's kind of why it's indigo and violet. But this was made in the 2000s.
Mid-2000s, like 2005.
Yeah, I mean, they even do indigo and violet on Sesame Street. So, like, come on, get your act together.
Well, I mean, if you're on the drugs, you see all the colors.
No. If you're on the drugs, you hear all of the colors.
Yes.
You see all of the sound.
Which, if you watch Sesame Street, lots of drugs. Lots of drugs were involved in making that show.
Are you sure you're not thinking about The Muppet Show? Or is just both? I mean, The Muppet Show, there are a few episodes where I'm like, drugs heavily influenced the creation of this episode.
It's Jim Henson. It's the same people did both shows. Some of the animation stuff in Sesame Street, I'm like, what? What is going on? Like those little guys that grunt.
Oh, the little clay cave dudes?
Yeah.
That I say they sounded like me when I was trying to move around when I was super pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on? And they have some other weird stuff too, like the honkers.
The honkers and the dingers?
Yeah.
The dingers ding and the honkers honk. What's so confusing about that?
I'm just saying, Sesame Street knows the colors because of the drugs.
So if you're going to be such a funny guy right now, you got a dad joke of the week for me? Is it a good one this time? Am I not going to groan?
Well, I don't know if you're going to groan or not, but I do have a joke. And it's a beach-related joke.
We like the beach.
Because we are just at the beach. While we were at the beach, we had an interesting meal down in South Carolina.
We did?
We did. There was a restaurant on the beach, right there on the beach near the ocean.
I don't quite recall this restaurant, but yes, there was.
So there's a restaurant on this beach that we went to, and I ordered something called the Pelican Burger.
That sounds interesting.
It was very interesting. It was good, but the bill was enormous. Cue the applause.
Oh my goodness. No applause for you.
You will applaud.
No, I will not applaud. Your Jedi mind tricks will not work on me.
Well, that does it for this week's show. Thank you so much for listening. We want to hear from you. If you have ideas for a show topic, if you have comments about a previous show, maybe you really liked it, or you learned something new, or perhaps you think we can do better.
Constructive criticism is welcome. Blatant hate mail, not so much.
Yeah, we may take your advice. We may not. Who knows? But we appreciate the comments. Either way, there are many ways to get in touch with us. Send us an email at craftparentingpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us an email at craftparentingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Craft Parenting Podcast to get updates on when episodes have dropped, see pictures of our adorable kids, and more.
If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. Make sure to share the show with your friends, family, your neighbor down the street, that guy at the grocery store, anybody and everybody. You can also send us stuff to our new P.O. Box listed on our website.
All of this information is available on our website, our brand new website that we launched. It's beautiful. You should go there.
What is the website that we should go to?
www.craftparentingpodcast.com.
Nice.
And it is beautiful, as I said.
So that's where we will post the show notes. Plus, we'll be writing blog posts about some of the stuff that don't make it in the podcast.
If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the show. We are listed on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, just about every podcast out there. So hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button.
Oh my goodness, YouTube Joe, go to bed.
It really helps our show grow. And with that, I'm Joe.
And I'm Caroline.
See you next time on the Craft Parenting Podcast.
Rate and review. Smash that like button. Subscribe. That's you being a YouTube person.
Hey, we could do YouTube.
We could do YouTube.
You would get banned instantly.
I probably would. I mean, I'm already banned in one group on Facebook. Well, it's a temporary ban. I get to do stuff in it tomorrow, so.
When Lily's old enough, she'll do.
Maybe she'll bail me out of Facebook jail.
No, she's going to record. Smash that like button.
Oh, there was somebody. It's probably an internet story, so it's probably fake, but probably not. There was a parent taking their kid home, and they told their kid, okay, say bye. And their kid was like half asleep and was like, hit that like button, smash subscribe. Because that's how they thought you said goodbye.
I remember you telling us that.
Yeah.
Telling me that.
Lily's going to do stuff like that. She likes to mimic.